welcome to another live. So today we are talking about crystals and crystal healing. So if you have any questions, please post them in the comments. Hi, YT Social. Thanks for being here. So while we wait for everybody just to come in, I'm just going to let everybody know about what is upcoming as far as shows. So the next show is on March 24th. And I'm actually going to be doing it on one of my favorite board games. So the idea of the board game is around a ghost, and you are a group of clairvoyants trying to figure out who killed the ghost. So it's kind of like a play on Clue. It's a cooperative game. So I'm going to be talking about the game and actually maybe even attempting some card readings with the cards from the game. So we'll see how that goes.
Cool.
And then on
What's the name of the game?
Oh, Mysterium.
There we go.
Yeah. On the 14th of April, I'm going to have a talk called Wisdom of the Galactics. So this lady over here, who's going to introduce herself in a second, will be there, as well as a couple of other special guests. So please come and hang out with that, because that's going to be great. There's going to be a whole group of us. And then on the 28th, put it in your calendars, is the 1-year anniversary of the channel, which is hard.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Oh, YT Social said, oh, what crystals are best for you? Well, I have some cards, so maybe at the end, if we have a little bit of time, we can do some, like we/I, if you're up for it, Tanys, can do some crystal
card reading stuff.
Yeah, I've started. So I've started your comment there, YT Social. So if we have some time, we'll do that. And then Lois is here. Hi.
Hey.
Her puppy. Her puppy's in her picture there. Nice. All right. So why don't you introduce yourself?
So I am Tanys Coughlan. I am the owner and founder of Twillow Lifestyle Community and Twillow Lifestyle Academy. What do? I do all sorts of energy healing stuff in my practice with the Twillow Lifestyle Community. We form community, so I have a membership page as well on the website, which is twillowlifestyle.ca. And I do teaching of energy healing, metaphysics.
She's an amazing teacher, guys.
Thanks. Yeah, so I've been doing that for about a decade now, I guess. And so, yeah, it's lots of fun. And so some of the specialties that I have, I'm also a Galactic Ambassador and stuff, which is why we're doing the Galactic show.
Yes, yeah.
And in terms of the healing stuff, I'm like a Reiki Master, Aqua Lead Master, which I believe we did a show on.
Yes, we did.
And so check back at the other show. And I also do a couple of other galactic healing modalities like Nukti, Nagara. There's also the Egyptian, Sekam, which is a lot of fun too. And I'm a crystal master, which leads me to
tonight
what I'm doing here today.
Got a full basket.
I have toolboxes.
Yeah. Oh, and anybody watching too, you do virtual classes sometimes as well as in person.
Yeah.
So
mostly,
if you're ever interested in any of those classes, always keep an eye out. I believe I posted your information in the description. If not, I will make sure I do it afterwards. But you can check out the Twillow Lifestyle website. And you also have your crystal encyclopedia on there.
That's
as
right.
well.
Yeah.
And refer
I could
to.
Actually, let me see if I could pull that up on here. Actually, I could probably pull that up on the screen that we're sharing here. One second.
Yes. Oh, here. Yeah. Add to stage. Let me just try this. Whoop, there we go.
There we go. Okay, so this is the website, and so this is the homepage. And if you go to resources here, there's a crystal directory.
Yeah,
so it's all alpha order here, and you can just look up the crystals.
Yeah, I've even used it. I'm like, I don't remember what that is. Go to the website, and you have it nicely listed, the name of the crystal, then all the different things that it can help with. Yeah.
A little bit.
And I love that you have pictures there too.
Yeah. These are all ones that we carry actually in our store. Nice. So it's not an online store, guys. It's only in person. So if you're in Ottawa, Ontario, just give me a shout and we'll set up a thing. So yeah, so that's kind of what they look like.
So I guess we're going to start out with just what, crystals are, how they can help us in healing. So I've taken a couple classes with you. So I'll just kind of speak on what I know of them, and then you can kind of
sounds good.
Crystals, you hear about us talking about like different dimensional beings. Well, crystals are first dimension beings, so they are, they do have a consciousness to them.
They do.
You'll hear people talk about like, oh, this crystal wanted to work with me, or I felt, a connection to this crystal, and it's because they do have that communication with us.
They do, yeah.
And it all has to do with vibration as well. So if you want to speak more to, I guess, that piece of it, as far as...
Yeah, sure. So the reason we also say they have consciousness is because you could pick up 2 crystals and hold them in your hands for the same amount of time. One will get warm and one will not.
Right.
And the one that got warm has woken up because it knows that you need it. So that's where the conscious part of it jumps in. Yeah. You'll also feel it if it's like, we say yelling at me, because it's like, it's often like singing. They do sing as they vibrate, right? And so sometimes people will actually hear them singing. Other times it's a feel. So like the one that gets warm, if it's for you, sometimes if you're running your hand over them, you'll feel like a pull to one, or you'll feel like a little tingle in your hand. So those are some of the ways that you can sort of decide, and hopefully that answers a little bit of your question as well, YT Social, in terms of what crystals are best for you. Right. A lot of people will go and they'll just rub their hand like over a bunch of crystals and see what they feel as they're doing that. So doing that. And then also other people will also do it like they'll look at where their eye is drawn when they're standing there. So if you keep getting drawn to one particular one, pick it up and see how it feels. So that's kind of where the consciousness thing comes in, because you're not always going to be drawn to the same one. They're not always going to heat up at the same rate. Depends on what's happening around it. So that's why we talk about them being crystal or conscious beings.
Well, and I have a funny story in that regard. So my rose quartz skull, I remember you had gone to a crystal show, I think, and you had them all, spread out on one of the tables down in your basement. And you're like, well, what do you think about this one? And you put it in my hand, and I got like when little kids will like rub their feet across the carpet and then go up and like shock somebody. Yep. I got that from that skull. And then I'm just like, okay. At that point, he didn't come home with me, but it was only, I think, a week later. And
he was calling long distance.
Oh, But like as you said, they'll do that. I know when my mom looks at choosing crystals, she'll, if there's a container of them, she'll put one in each hand and feel them and kind of sort them that way. Again, it's that tapping into that energy. So that YT Social, that's kind of some pointers maybe on if you're wanting to choose them for yourself. And it can be a bit overwhelming, especially when you walk into some of those crystal stores. You're like, where do I start? Yeah.
If you're sensitive, you're going to feel the energy too, if they're all awake. So crystals tend to kind of go to sleep a little bit. So that you don't feel them as much. But then if you're in there doing a lot of sound stuff, or there's a lot of people going through, touching them and all of that stuff, they tend to wake up. So when you walk into the crystal stores and stuff, often it's like, okay, there's a lot of energy in here. So
there's a good question.
Terminated. Okay. Yep. Terminated.
So here, I'll make you a little bit. I don't know how. Can you see that? Okay. Let me know if there you go. Yeah.
There we go.
So just means it has a point on it.
It has a point. So they're usually used for directional stuff. That's not a particularly good one, but
we tend to use that with crystal grids and stuff like that to focus or to direct the energy,
or to activate the crystals for the grid. Right? We connect the energies with that, and then we add energy to the grid with it as well.
Well, and there's a couple different ways people can, I guess, charge or clear their crystals. Like I know I tend to use my Reiki just because I've been, trained in Reiki, but you can also just place them in the sun or in the moonlight to clear and charge them. If you don't, have that, or find somebody who will do that for you is another option.
Yeah. And in terms of clearing, you can bury them in brown rice. You can bury them in soil or in salt. But depending on the crystal, you have to be careful. Some of them are softer, so they'll mar easier than others. And then, if you're burying them in the garden, make sure you know where you buried them.
Don't be a squirrel.
You don't want to have to dig up the whole garden just to find your crystal. But if you put them like in the bottom of plants, for instance, plants love crystals and crystals love plants. They do really well together. So that's another option. Also selenite, if you put them on a selenite or beside a selenite stick.
Right, yeah.
I have a stick. Yeah, the plate or the bowl is good. Yeah, please. You can put them in there and that will help to clear things out as well. So there's a little charging plate. Yeah, that one's cute. So you can do, I do have a little bowl here. You can get little bowls too. This one's got a bunch of stuff in it. A bunch of different shapes and everything. A bunch of little thingies in here, but okay. So there's my little bowl, and I put my crystals in it to clear, right? And these little bowls come from like this size up to like big. Yeah. So, in all different shapes. So you can nab that. And if you have a lot of them in there, you just leave it a little bit longer. Make sure they're all clear.
Hi, Barbara. Barbara's popped on. No. And Lois said thank you for answering her question.
You're welcome.
So we made Tanys very graciously made a chart. So we're gonna post that up here and talk about it a little bit. But it's basically a, I guess, quick guide to how you can start to use crystals for your own healing. So if you're looking at different areas you're maybe wanting to work on or focus on, this chart can kind of help you maybe figure out what crystals to work with. So I don't know if you maybe want to do root, and then I can read through sacral, and we'll kind of go one at a time.
So let's tell them a little bit about where they are as well, because I didn't put that on the chart, but it'd probably be a good idea. So just so everybody knows. So let's take a step back though, and just talk quickly about the chakra system.
Sure.
Just for those that may not have any idea what's happening with the chakra system. So the chakra system are vortexes. Chakras are vortexes of energy that they move the energy through the system, which is your main channel, as well as your meridians. So your chakras, I always liken them to, like you have the heart of the circulatory system that keeps the blood moving. The chakras keep the energy moving through the body. And then the energy is taken from the central channel out to the rest of the body via the meridians. So that's kind of what the chakras are. They're a main part of the whole energy system that keeps your body running. So they are little vortexes of energy. And I'm going to try this guy out to just demo that, if you'll indulge me.
Yeah. I'm going to make you big here. Give me a second. Okay. I got to remember how to do this. Give me a second. We'll just do this for a moment, and then I'll come back.
That's good. That's good. So they get caught in the vortexes. So we have smaller chakras in our hands. Because of what I do, they tend to get caught in that vortex when I start my energy. So this is a new pendulum for me, so I'm not sure how connected we are, but let's see.
Oh, there we go.
It seems to be going. Awesome. And then I can stop it just by stopping my energy coming through. So I just close my hand, it clenches up the chakra, or I can start it again. And with my intention, I start the energy again.
I love playing with pendulums in our chakras. They're so much fun.
Yeah. So the chakras are that. They are vortexes of energy. This is getting caught in the vortex in my hand. Now the main chakras are a little larger than these. My hands are probably a little bit more adept at doing that because of what I do. But that's the main idea is they turn, and they have different sizes. You can be overactive, underactive, all of that stuff. So basically what we do with the crystals is that we put them on the spots or near the spots of the chakras in order to do some healing work on those chakras. So that gives you a little bit of an overview. And so the first one we have here is root. And the color that's associated with the root chakra is like red, brown, and black.
Okay.
Okay. So in terms of crystal options, things like bloodstone, which is actually green, but it has red spots in it.
Okay.
So that it's still very grounding. And black tourmaline, of course, which is quite a dark crystal, kind of flaky. I used to have all of these sitting here, but I don't seem to have all of those. I usually can go do, but apparently not tonight, because the ones that I have here are not here.
People can go on your website.
They can go on my website, check it out. Yep. Then we've got things like garnet, hematite, and we have red jasper. I'm still looking. Yes, we have red jasper. Okay, cool. We have red jasper here, like this. And we have, is this garnet? It looks like this might be garnet. Yep. Garnet, which, higher quality are really red. When you're using them for healing, they tend to be more like that. So all of those kinds of things. Another one that's not mentioned there that you could use would be something like this, which is a smoky quartz, and that's a terminated smoky quartz.
There you go. Okay. That's a nice piece right there.
It is. I like that one. And then so the purpose of some of these crystals are for grounding, stability, security, and to help connect us to the earth. So
and you can kind of use that color though as a guide. So really any red or black or brown crystal in theory would be good to work with as far as a root. Even if like some of the other aspects or some of the other characteristics of those crystals, like on your website there, you have, is good for, be relieving stress or things like that. So you can kind of, double up the healing, so to speak, when you're doing
definitely.
That. Moira popped on. Hello, Moira.
There's lots of books that you can get as well for that kind of thing to figure out what exactly. So there's things like this, which
gonna pop you up here again. There we go.
Yeah, the healing crystal first aid manual. There's the crystal prescriptions.
I have it on my Amazon wish list.
Crystal Bible. As you can tell, Crystal Girl. So Crystal Bible. There's a bunch of those.
I have one of those. Yeah.
Judy Hall has another one, Crystal Encyclopedia.
Oh, nice.
So if you don't know what the crystal is called, this is a great one because it's color coded. And so you can, I don't know if you can see on the side there, see all the colors. So you pick the color and then you flip through it to find what it looks like, right?
I might have to get myself one of those. Christmas gift.
Yeah. So those are some of my main go-tos, and the prescription one, which I use all the time down in my treatment room. So it's not here, but that's another one as well by Judy Hall. And the crystal prescription book is kind of cool because you can look up the ailment or the stuff, the issue you might be having, and it'll tell you which crystals to work with.
Oh, awesome. Amazing. So the next one is the sacral. So that's what I guess we'd say kind of around the belly button or just kind of around that belly button area.
Yeah. And the root, actually, sorry, I forgot to say where the root was. The root is right at the base of the spine.
Okay. So
sorry.
Right where your tailbone is, so to speak.
Yeah.
So the crystal for sacral are orange or light brown. Some options for you are amber, carnelian. I can't read that one from here.
Tiger iron,
tiger's eye, orange calcite, and sunstone. So those are all kind of very orange crystals. And our sacral has to do with creativity, passion, sensuality, and emotional balance.
And the next one we have here is the solar plexus, and that would be just below your rib cage here, just underneath. So that basically above where we were with the sacral. And the color there is usually yellow or like golden yellow.
Okay.
Crystals would be things like citrine, yellow jasper, pyrite, tiger's eye, golden calcite. So you'll see tiger's eye is in both because sometimes they do go both for both things. So that's okay. It's good. They're multi-purpose.
Yes.
The purpose, speaking of purpose, multi-purpose, is they help you with your confidence, your personal power. They can help you manifest, and they can help to motivate you if you're feeling a bit lackluster. Sluggish. Yes.
Perfect. So the next one is the heart chakra. So the heart chakra kind of just sits actually more or less right here, or more or less where my necklace is. And its color is green or pink. So you have crystals like rose quartz, green aventurine, rhodonite, malachite, and emeralds. And the purpose or the use is love, compassion, emotional healing, and relationships. Do you want to show off your baby?
Pink quartz.
It's so pretty.
I also have a crystal skull that's pink quartz too.
Bonita.
Bonita. That's what she goes by.
She's very friendly.
She is very friendly.
And I guess like just because it came in my head, with like, for example, heart and throat, or people talk about like high heart, where it's like a mixture of the green and the blue. Again, looking at, aqua colored crystals in that respect.
That's right. Yeah. So the heart is here, the throat is here. So your higher heart is just in between. And that's not on our chart because it's actually a transpersonal chakra is what they call it. And that one would be things like aquamarine that's on here. Or the turquoise. You could use those on that higher heart. So, and that's more about unconditional love. What's that?
I said sorry to interrupt.
No, not at all. Not at all. It's all good. So yeah, so that's just the higher heart one, and then the throat is all about blue. That's up here. All the blue colored crystals. So blue lace agate is a beautiful one for there. You could do blue kyanite. Sodalite, of course, which is a little bit darker, but it's still very much like that. I'm just looking to see.
Did you have one there?
I have blue kyanite here.
Yeah, if you want to show it again there, I have you bigger.
Yeah, blue kyanite. We have some blue lace agate.
Ooh, that's one of my favorites.
And sodalite looks an awful lot like lapis.
It has a bit more white in it, though, doesn't it, typically?
Yes. The big difference between sodalite and lapis is you see the little gold flecks in there? That is lapis. So sodalite would not have the gold, and it would likely look a little bit more white than that. Yeah, so those are some of the blue ones.
Awesome. So the next one after that is your third eye. So, right between, more or less between your eyeballs, on your forehead. And the color for that is indigo or purple. So crystals for that would be things like amethyst, fluorite, and that would be more a purple fluorite. I know fluorite can come in more than one color. Yeah. Lapis again, lepidiolite, and sugalite. And then the purposes for those are, of course, intuition, psychic abilities, spiritual insight, and inner vision.
We didn't talk about the purpose for the throat, which is communication, self-expression, truth, and clarity. So if you're having trouble speaking your truth, work with some of those blue crystals. Okay. And then we've got crown chakra here. So the crown chakra, your crown is right at the top. So actually your crown and your root are opposite ends of the central channel that comes up and down the body. So the crown is the color related would be violet, white, clear, and light purple. Okay. Darker purple is more third eye, but sometimes the lighter purple. So a lighter amethyst, that kind of thing would be considered crown. So some of the options would be clear quartz, selenite, amethyst, howlite, diamond, Herkimer diamond. Those kind of things all work with the crown chakra. And then the purpose for that is higher consciousness, divine connection, enlightenment. So really connecting with the divine, bringing down source energy through the crown. So those can really help you to do that.
Amazing. And so if you don't want to use crystals directly, you can also use things like crystal decks in your practices. So Tanys and I both brought a couple examples of those for you guys. So I don't know if you want to show yours first.
Yeah, I am actually working on a crystal deck, which is not out yet. But
breaking news, everybody.
It'll be soon. I've been working on it for a while. So I just had another thing that I want to add now. So I'm
of course.
It. But,
I just published a deck, so I completely get it.
Yeah, I just want to make sure it's, just right. So we're working on it. So this one here doesn't have a lot of information there. So we look it up in the book if you're not sure, but it's a great one just if what crystal do I need today kind of thing, right? So this one here actually is quite an interesting one, moldavite. So that's actually a galactic crystal. It was formed in Czechoslovakia with an incoming meteorite. So yeah, so they're very rare, very high vibration because it's actually galactic, and they're rare, hard to find, and quite expensive. So but it's a great one. And then you mentioned black tourmaline that I was looking for on my desk.
There you
There's
go.
A black tourmaline. Those are great for empaths. Definitely helps you to, block out all that stuff. Great for protection.
I tend to wear it to work every day.
That's the bloodstone I mentioned.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So it's green with red.
Oh, right. I see what you mean. Yeah. And then there's little flecks of red in there.
Yeah. Yeah. It is. It is expensive.
As Gerald says, purchase responsibly.
Exactly. And make sure that I would not buy moldavite online. Not unless you have actually felt moldavite first. Because moldavite is something that people either really love it or they don't.
Right.
So just because it's expensive doesn't mean it's for you.
Right.
So I would advise getting moldavite in person. And there is lots of fake as well. Yeah. You'll be able to tell by the vibration of it. Right. So, yeah, if it's not really high vibe, then it may not be real.
Well, that will happen too with turquoise, right? They'll sometimes dye light. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Let me see. Well, you're showing them your deck.
Yeah, sure.
Let's see if I can find howlite.
So I have two. So this one is one I actually, my parents got for me when they went down to the States at Barnes & Noble. So it's just a, $5 or $10 deck. But it's great. I love it because it actually lists the crystal. It has a picture and then also has some of the things it's good for or represents. So it's a really, really nice one. It comes with a really nice book as well that kind of goes into a little bit of detail about the crystal as well.
Nice.
Good for those with, not so great eyesight. It's nice and big letters.
This is good.
And then the other one I have you guys
with the glasses.
Right.
I guess we both.
Moira's like, howlite is a nice stone, but it's not turquoise.
Exactly.
So the other one you guys have seen me use before, but it's the liquid crystal oracle. And when we talk about crystal baths, Tanys you'll actually see these in use. But they are crystal. Each card has a crystal as well as light language on it, as well as kind of a meaning. So, like for example, this one is clear calcite, and it's the universal mind. And you can actually use these cards in place of the crystals. So when you're doing work or wanting to do different placements on your body for different things, you can use the cards instead of the crystal if you don't have it. The other thing you can do too is if you don't have a specific crystal, but you're wanting to use the energies, you can use a clear quartz and put intention that it's the specific stone that you're needing. So yeah, you can use that. You can do that too.
That's called programming the crystal.
Yeah. So, and you want to make sure you clear it afterwards because,
That's right. Because it's better that way.
Yes, exactly.
So shall we show them the
crystal bath? Yeah.
Since we talked about it.
Back up here.
There we go. So this is a crystal bath that I have
Set up literally behind you, actually.
Yeah, it's right behind me. I don't have a sheet on it at the moment, but it looks like this when it's ready. And
I'm actually going to make you, is that any bigger for anybody? I don't know.
I don't know. I can make the picture bigger.
Oh, there you go. Okay, yeah, that's good. Just so they can see the crystals there.
Yeah. So you can see here what the person would lie here. These would be the crystals on the chakras. Well, a few of them anyway. And so there's different purposes for each of them. We've got rose quartz at the top and the bottom to bring in love and light. We have purple here. These are both amethyst, and they are to help calm the mind and work with the upper two chakras. We have these 4 black ones are snowflake obsidian, and so they help pull stuff out, right? And then this is, of course, selenite. So we've got 2 selenite bars on either side. These are selenite as well, these spirals, and those are held by the person that's in there. And and then we've got the chakra colors down the center. So selenite, of course, transmutes energy. So these guys pull it out, and then these guys transmute it all, so that we're not sitting in it.
Where's that huge selenite there?
There's 2. Actually, there's 1 on each side.
And then Lois was saying, I was so drawn to that tower behind you. Now it makes sense.
Yep. So this is one of the ways that we use it, is through that. And then, so there's another view. So you can see it's like similar on both sides. And the person lays here, and then crystals go on it, which we also have a picture of. And it happens to be Kaylee.
Yep. So this was a crystal healing session, or a crystal bath that I did with you at one point. I've had many since, but you asked if you could take some pictures, and I said, of course. So yeah,
we know using them on your channel at the time.
Yes. Yeah, spirit knew, right?
So you can see here that we've used some of the crystal cards that she had in her hand on her. And those were just intuitively picked. So they aren't necessarily matched to chakras. They were more matched. I asked, what is it that she needs for her sacral? What is it that she needs for her solar plexus? What is it that she needs for her heart chakra? And so these were the cards that came out as I was asking. And, these were other ones that were put there as well. And you can see here, this is a large green calcite. I lovingly call it my dragon's head, because
gorgeous.
Let me just get up as close as I can here. So it's about
probably about that big,
yeah. And if you hold it at a certain angle, it actually looks like a dragon's head. So that's one that I use on the heart chakra a lot.
Actually, while you have it zoomed in there, you can kind of see my hands are on those little selenite spirals that you had.
Yeah,
so I have one in each hand there.
Yeah. And then you've got this one here is, I believe that is the heart.
I think that's the
serpentine, I believe.
Yeah, serpentine, yeah. Because I think as per usual, I was having issues grounding, so I think that was why that one was there.
It's this one, septarian, not serpentine, septarian. Yeah. And then I'm not sure what that one is. I can't remember what we used there. It looks like it might be a golden healer, which is from the other room.
That was for the solar plexus, though, because you can see the placement. It's just kind of, as you say, under the rib cage. But yeah, and what's great about those cards too is if somebody has issues with like pressure anywhere, those cards weigh next to nothing.
Exactly.
So that can help too if people are very sensory or get easily sensory, overload. Those cards can make be a little bit of a different option.
And there's also a card between her legs here. The other thing is, can you speak to like the difference before I put the cards on and then when I put the cards on? Do you remember what the difference was?
I mean, for me, when I'm working with energy or spirit, I usually get like chills is how I tend to feel the energy. So I do know, like when you put the cards on, I did feel a shifting of the energy. I couldn't tell you if, one versus the other, but I do know that they were working because I felt that change in the energy, that flow.
I think there might be a Shiva Lingam somewhere in here as well. Is there? Oh, no, not in this picture.
No,
I do use Moira says that she likes Septarian and Shiva Lingam, which I love Shiva Lingam as well.
I have a really nice one upstairs. It's kind of almost like your like your dragon's head.
See
here. I'll make it big. Give me a second here. Yeah, you can't really see it.
Okay, hold on one sec. I'll grab my Shiva.
Oh yeah, yours is your big win. Mine's about half that size, but
sorry, I can't hear with these out.
No, I was just saying.
Yeah, so this is my Shiva.
Mine's about half that size, but yeah, I know you got your big one there.
They look like a dragon egg. They're kind of cool. They're very heavy though.
You cradle that one like a baby.
Yeah. The interesting thing about these is they're only found in one river in India. And the ones that are actually naturally formed as river stones, those are usually found in temples.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so the others are usually like man-made if they're here. The ones that are natural are in temples. So they are beautiful stones. And speaking to the cards too, I've actually used them in my own Reiki practice. So when I've had clients, I've actually done the same thing basically you've done, where you are kind of like, okay, what crystals do they need to work with? And then kind of gave them home play, saying if if you're interested, these are crystals that maybe you can look at, getting for yourself to work with. Yep. So that gives an idea of how we can use crystals. Ta-da! Yeah, ta-da!
So I guess if people are wanting to make their own at home, they could kind of use those pictures, I guess, as guidelines and that chart. You don't have to, you don't, as you say, have to have like, a bunch, like a huge number of crystals and go out and spend tons of money. If you just have, some of those crystals you saw lying around, you can set up your own crystal bath, use it as a way to meditate.
Yeah. I often will go in there and put on like solfeggio music on my headphones or something and just meditate in there with the crystals. And it makes a huge difference for me. It takes away like physical pain as well as all the energetic stuff for me. So it's invaluable. The other thing, we could talk about crystal grids.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Yeah.
So crystal grids are pretty awesome. They create, basically you'd have a grid like this. You'd put crystals on the intersections there and there's tons of these different ones. Like there's all Metatron's cube. This is the flower of life, of course. And then often people will use the seed of life. So there's all different
ones. I had
ones.
a picture of a grid.
Oh, yeah.
Because I have the one that I use for my business. But I don't know if I have a photo of that handy. Well, maybe, kind of. Here, let me. It's not the best picture, but let me just see here. I'm going to screen share here. We're seeing this live as it's happening.
Exciting, isn't it? It's live.
This was not planned. There we go. So you can see it kind of there. So this is actually the travel massage table that I have set up in the room where I do my sessions. And so this is actually crystal grid sits on that bed when it's not in use. It has a couple different types of agate that I picked up when I was out at the Atlantic Ocean on the East Coast last summer. And so I set that up and just kind of as grounding on the bed to ground any energies, one in the room, and two, just for the person kind of intending for the person on the bed that they be grounded when they lay there. And I do know it's working because when I put my hand over top of it, you can feel heat coming off of it. So I know it's good.
Yeah. And that's how it works, right? It allows you to, it pulls out a big ball of energy. And as you sit with that, it becomes
that crystal quartz point as well there that we were talking about.
Right. Yeah. I was looking for that's the other one I'm looking for. Let me just pull this up.
Oh, let's see. Moira said, I picked up a square mirror at the dollar store. It's a beautiful base for a crystal grid. It would be.
Yep, definitely.
Where it's a square mirror, would you recommend she do like the tea and stuff first to like seal it?
To
Like, you know, how you
block
talk about
it?
like
No.
mirror? Yeah.
No, she doesn't really need to do
Okay.
that. If she's doing crystals on it, I think that's okay because you're using it for that reason.
Okay.
It's mostly we do chamomile tea on mirrors if they're across from a window. That's what she's referring to. So here is an altar.
Adding to the stage.
So this was an altar that we had at our enlightenment evening.
That was fun.
And if we look closely here, you'll see here we have a crystal grid. So that's a more simple one. And that was to help us to bring in more of the Egyptian energies.
Mm-hmm.
So the whole thing was about calling in the Egyptian gods and goddesses. And it was a healing ceremony. And so these were to support the energy of the Egyptian energy. So, so that's actually carnelian and lapis that's on there. So,
and then just a big clear quartz there in the middle, right? Tower.
Yeah, that's a big point thing in the center, right? So you have like a focus stone in the center, and then you've got your path stones and your destiny stones and all of that stuff. So.
And that center stone doesn't necessarily need to be like pointed or a pyramid, right? It just needs to be, or is it?
It doesn't need to. I think for myself, I prefer it because the pointed sort of brings in the energy and down into the grid, right? So that's kind of the shape of that. And so they form like this bubble of energy around it when you connect them all. Generator crystal, exactly.
Yeah.
And when we create that bubble of energy, right, that's in the space, and then we end up becoming like that. They are high vibration. So, you know, if there's a high vibration and a low vibration, the low vibration is going to rise. And so they have a specific frequency. If we want to vibrate at that same frequency, then we use crystals to adjust our own frequency to put us at that rate. So if we're looking to attract abundance, for instance, and we're making a grid like this you might do it with citrine, aventurine, jade, pyrite, those types of crystals. They create that frequency of abundance, which allows us to attract that, because like attracts like.
Yeah.
So. Crystals.
So I know YT Social was asking about like what crystals to use. So I do have, I'm going to use the crystal card deck there for you guys. So if anybody else wants a crystal or crystals to maybe work with, just say me in the comments there, and I'm happy to pull you a card.
Moira has a question there about what's your most expensive crystal? For me, it's moldavite.
Yeah, I was gonna say those. You get tiniest little pieces, like $100, easy.
Watermelon tourmaline as well is very expensive. So not quite as much as a moldavite, but definitely up there.
Yeah. And I would say for me at the moment, it would probably be that rose quartz skull, just because it's kind of, let's say, my most prized possession. Next, I would say I also have a selenite dragon's head that is kind of around the same kind of price as that. I mean, you can definitely go thinking about. I was going to say your amethyst towers.
Yeah, so I've got.
Let me see. Yeah, I can't.
You put.
That's kind of there. You can kind of see it in the corner.
You can kind of see it over here. Whoops, where are we here?
Yeah,
right over there.
Yeah, those can be.
Those are much more than my moldavite, but
yeah. Go to any crystal shows and you'll kind of see, you know, how expensive some of those can get for sure.
Oh, a citrine generator, yeah, that's beautiful. Chrysanthemum stone, those are interesting, eh? They have like a picture of a flower on them.
Oh, do they?
At least the one I have, yeah. The one I have has like a picture of a flower. Yeah, they're amazing. My husband gave them to me.
They're like a rent payment.
It is, like each almost. Yeah. Those are probably $1,200 to $1,500.
Oh, another great one for people if they're just wanting kind of, I was going to say, use the term maintenance stone, but black kyanite for combing through your aura after you're out in public.
Yep.
So black, I don't know, do you have one there?
I don't seem to have a black one, but it looks like this, but it's black.
So basically, I almost describe it to people as almost being like, I don't want to say like a lice comb, but basically it's like that. It's a very kind of fine-tooth comb you can kind of just run through your aura that will get, so if you go out, grocery shopping or something like that, you can come home and just run that through your auric field and it'll just get rid of any, sludge or any little, energetic dust that you've accumulated on your or to rent payments.
Yeah, we just, for the record, we got ours secondhand, but that's what they go for too.
And much like cards or anything else, if you get crystals secondhand, just make sure you clear them first before you use them.
Yes. Being a Celtic Shamanic High Priestess, I'm good with that. Yeah. I can do that.
Right. So I don't know if YT Social is still here. I haven't seen them comment recently. So YT Social, if you're still here, if you can just say hey.
Moira says she has a blue kyanite and she uses it for a wand.
Ooh, that's kind of a cool idea.
So I have this guy here that I can use as a wand. This is amethyst.
Ooh, I love that one.
Point. Yeah. And this is a wand for me. I use this as a wand. And then you also have other ones that are, selenite wands. This is one of my healing wands, and I use that. And that's selenite, but it's coated. This one. So,
well, and the other thing you can do too, I know we didn't really talk about it, but you can also use crystals to infuse water and things like that too.
Yeah, I do encourage people to be cautious with that because you want to make sure that you're not. There's some crystals that are not safe to use in water.
Right.
So there are a few crystals that are quite toxic, actually. So one might be wolfenite. The dust of wolfenite is like poisonous. So we don't want to use that at all. In fact, with that one, I would caution against even like playing with it in your hands. I have one and I don't play with it. It's kind of like just to say, there's wolfenite. It's actually in like a little thing. I got it with this big pack of other stuff. I wouldn't have picked it myself, but so that's one. And then things like pyrite, for instance, you're not going to put that in water, or lapis, because there's metal in those, so that will corrode. You don't want to put things like kyanite and selenite in water. Yeah. Right? Those guys are gonna. Oh, here's a black tourmaline, or black kyanite, I should say.
There you go. See, so you can kind of see it almost looks like a little tiny comb with all those different layers of the crystal there.
So you wouldn't put that in water either.
No. But you can get one of those special water bottles, and
yes.
Yeah, I don't know if you've ever his in your. Hi.
Here's one of the water bottles. So these you can put almost anything in because they're not actually touching the water. Right. There's a glass thing there, so you can use whatever crystals that you want in there to create the energy that you want in the water. I got stuff.
Yeah, I'm not seeing YT Social, so. Does anybody else want a card reading, or if not, any other questions? We got about 10 minutes left, so anybody has any other questions in regards to crystals, crystal healing, the crystal bath, anything like that? I do know with me, for example, I set up a crystal bath for myself with the crystals that I had, and I tend to struggle with just regular meditation, and I was able to lay there for 30 minutes.
Nice.
When I typically wouldn't be able to. And I think it was that kind of grounding energy of those crystals that, helped with that.
Yes. Yes, malachite can be dangerous, but it's not as dangerous. I mean, you wouldn't put it in water. Malachite is better if it is polished. It's the dust from malachite, and azurite is the same. It's the blue that's similar. And the malachite and azurite, when they're in their rough form, it's the dust and stuff. So they're safer to handle in their polished form.
Perfect. Lois said she wouldn't mind a reading, so
perfect. I'll pick her one of these other ones that we have then.
That would be great. You're getting a 2-for-1 there.
2-for-1, Lois.
Apparently the one, okay guys, I need like one card, not Okay, they gave me 4. I guess we'll do that.
Maybe she's supposed to make a grid. Sounds like a good
There you
grid.
go. Yeah. I mean, they're all fairly accessible crystals. So Lois, the first one I got while she's shuffling there. So the first one I got is Moldavite, which we actually talked about today. And it's for healing, protection, telepathy, and connection. And so that green, of course, is that heart chakra. Next one I got is carnelian. That was another one we talked about tonight. So for your root, or sacral, right? Yeah, because it's more of that kind of reddish orange, depending on the color.
Yeah. It depends which one you choose.
Yeah. So it says self-trust, relationship rejuvenation, powers of concentration, and healing from abuse. That's carnelian.
Mm-hmm.
Then I got hematite. So what hematite we talked about with the root. So that more grounding. And it says self-healing, grounding, right opportunities, and justice. So you see the hematite. And I guess that would be hematite or the magnetic variety of that as well.
No, I would say just hematite.
Okay.
The magnetic actually is not hematite. It's man-made. So it's not natural.
And there's something new tonight, guys.
Yeah. So you're better to go with the natural hematite if you're going to use that for healing work.
And then the last one I got, I hadn't seen, so I'm assuming you could probably just use regular obsidian, but it says golden or golden sheen obsidian.
Okay. Those are specific. They're similar but specific.
So it says personal power, spiritual manifestation, earth healing, and new experiences. So I feel like something new might be coming up for you there, Lois, where you're going to be needing some grounding and some kind of confidence and stuff there. So
that one says to me, as above, so below, because it's got the gold of like your soul star, galactic chakras, and then the dark of the earth star, which is, if you're looking at the 10 or the 12 chakra system, those ones are in there. So one would be the earth stars foot below you, and the other ones are higher above. So
she says she's game for a grid.
Maybe not moldavite.
Yeah.
Well, I have 2 for you, so maybe you would like one of these.
But you could use a card to stand in for it, or clear quartz programmed.
Or you could use peridot.
That's another nice galactic one there. You got some galactic connections going on, Lois.
You do. So that's the other one I got. And the bringer of joy is what it says.
I love that.
So it's going to help bring you some joy. Yeah. So if you can get your hands on some peridot. And then ruby, which is all about spiritual warrior. So are you a spiritual warrior by chance? Because ruby will help you with that. Interestingly enough, I'm a spiritual warrior, and it's my birthstone because I'm a July baby.
Oh, and Moira just said, "Oh, good to know. I have a malachite pendant, so okay to wear in the shower."
I don't know if I'd wear it in the shower, hon. I think I would. I think I would not, just to be safe.
Yeah.
But you know, it's fine to hold it and stuff. Like it's fine to wear. Yeah. So tap into that. There's a birthstone connection there because I picked the ruby, which is my birthstone.
Yeah,
so I would focus on peridot if that's your birthstone.
Yes, and I know for sure you can get that in a crystal store.
Yeah.
It's fairly accessible. So you should, go out and buy yourself a little
and it's less than moldavite.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah, definitely. And so I think that Moira said she would love one as well.
Oh, sure. Oh, yeah. I see it right here. Sounds good.
So what should Moira? Yeah, malachite is not safe to do the water thing. Like you don't want to put it in water. But it is safer to hold polished than it is rough. All right. Oh, my goodness. They're all jumping out for you. Apparently you need a bunch of them as well. What have we got here?
That's okay. I'm only getting one. So if you got multiples, that'll balance out.
Yep.
Lost one between my legs. Give me a second. Oh, there we go. Okay, no, I got 3. I lie. Did you want to go first?
4 of them. Sure. So I got Imperial Topaz, which
Ooh.
it's for confidence and manifestation. Imperial
Love that.
topaz. Look at that picture too.
Yeah,
These
I love the
pictures are
colors.
really like energetically charged. So when you look at them for a sec, they start to act on your energy system.
I absolutely love that. I mean, it is one of my favorite decks. If anybody's wondering which one it is, it's this one here.
Liquid crystal. Yeah. And then you got black onyx, which is grounded self-awareness. So that's that.
It's funny. It's the only deck I held when I held it the first time. I just had to sit there and breathe through like chills for a minute. All I was doing was holding the deck, and it was just like so much energy.
I've had two like that. This one, and for me, my Archangel Michael deck, I picked it up and started to vibrate.
Oh wow!
So, yeah. And then carnelian.
Ooh,
and it's about creativity for you.
Yeah, nice. So take note there, Lois, too, since we're getting some repeats of
Celestite.
Ooh, I love celestite.
I love celestite. And that's about knowing. And it's like angelic knowing. Like,
yes.
Here, look at this baby. This is celestite.
Ooh, so pretty.
This is one of my favorite babies. Yeah.
Yeah, you can just, I was saying, you can literally hear the angels and like sunbeams coming down.
Isn't it beautiful? I love that one. Yeah.
And
so that's what I have for you.
So the ones I got for you, Moira. So I got rose quartz.
Nice.
So unconditional love, romance, nourishing, and soothing. So if you don't have rose quartz already, maybe going out and gifting yourself a little rose quartz. Moss agate. It's one of my favorites. And it says new beginnings, nature connection, animal allies, and security.
And so just as a heads up, moss agate and carnelian are both safe for water. So if you wash them with dish soap and like mild dish soap just to get the stuff off and put them in your water, they're really good for immune system, which is really good to know at this time of year. So.
And then the last one I got was peridot. And it's well-being, attracting money, good luck charm, and healing heartbreak. But as we talked about too, it has that galactic connection with it as well. So I think there's a little bit of maybe heart chakra work there for you, Moira, where it's all pinks and greens.
Looks like it.
So working on heart healing there.
Yeah, so tree agate and moss agate. So they're both a little bit different in their energy. Tree agate's a little more white. Moss agate is more clear with the green.
Yes.
So I'm not sure about. I think the tree agate's fine, but moss agate is the one for the immune system.
If you have 2 seconds, I can go grab mine.
Yeah. I'm good. Go ahead.
I'll down the house.
Do you have both?
I have both, but they're in 2 different places.
Okay. Hi. Yeah. So another one that is coming to mind that is a really good one for right now is one like this, which is lepidolite. This one is really good for anxiety, agitation, and that kind of thing. So that's another one to keep in mind if you're struggling a little bit with that.
I think some of you, if you've watched the channel for a while, will have seen this one already, but you can see it here.
Yeah, that's your moss agate, right?
So you can see it see-through. You can see my hand behind it. This one's made to look like a tree, but
yeah, it's beautiful.
There you go. You can see it a bit better there.
Yeah, so that's the moss agate. And then tree agate, where it's clear, you would see white.
Yes, and I have a bracelet upstairs.
So that's the difference between them.
Yeah.
Lepidolite is like, I think I heard it has like lithium in it.
Oh, okay.
So that's
like
why it's so common. Yep.
Interesting.
It's like what they used to give as an antidepressant.
Oh, really?
I'm not sure if the lithium batteries are the same, but they used to give lithium to calm people.
Might have to get myself some.
Lepidiolite? I'm surprised you don't have any lepidiolite.
No, I don't.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
I love it.
It'll be next on the list. Next time I see you.
All right. You're on.
Speaking of next time I see you, what do you have coming up?
What do I have coming up? Oh, I would need to pull up my calendar for that. Let's see here. I have Mystic Messages. So I'll be on Twillow Lifestyle Community on Facebook and on here being YouTube. And I'm doing that with my friend Jennifer on Friday evening, 7:30. So that's Mystic Messages. And then we have a support group at Beyond Being Human.
And they're great support groups.
It's fun. So it's beyondbeinghuman.org-support-groups. And so if you go there, you can sign up and join us. It's free. Yeah. And it's just a matter of signing up so you get the link to come in.
And there's no set topic or anything. It's just, they're kind of as a group of friends that you can kind of say, hey, this is going on right now, or I have this question, or it's very relaxed, very laid back.
Yeah, we just wait to see what people what they want to talk about. It's kind of like support group, but like peer support,
And then Monday. Monday. Yeah, Monday. An exciting show.
So we do Twillow Talk every Monday at 5. And so next Monday we have Melissa Sophia Joy. And can you ask what the plant is behind me? It is an artificial plant because I'm in the basement, but it would be a willow tree. So a form of willow tree. There are some forms that are smaller as well, but this one's not real. It wouldn't live in my basement, unfortunately. So we had to go with that. Yes. So that's it. She is a mystic. She is an energy healer. She's a somatic specialist, and she's pretty awesome. So come and see us. Again, Twillow Lifestyle at 5 p.m. on Mondays. And that's every Monday, but next Monday is.
And you can just subscribe so you don't miss it.
Yeah, exactly. Like and subscribe. And the other thing is that we do have a membership page as well. So we put up a monthly reading every month on there for the collective. And there's all sorts of other sort of fun stuff in there.
Yeah. So go check out the website. And then right now that membership is free.
It is right now. Mm-hmm.
So you're going to get all that stuff for free. We don't much free in the world anymore. So take advantage, guys.
Yeah, there's ebooks on there and meditation and pick a card reading and all sorts of fun stuff. So,
all right, come join us. Everybody have a great rest of their week and a great weekend, and we'll see you again soon.
Thanks so much,
guys.
Bye, everyone.